Tormented Demons, Combat Mastery points, even the Defender of Varrock being auto-unlocked was announced today, but you probably didn't see it because it was announced in the Jagex information part of the league's Discord. So here's some things that you may have missed this week, plus a few little helpful tips too. The Tormented Demons will now be accessible without completing Whilst Guthix Sleeps quest, and all you're going to need is a Sapphire Lantern to do it. But don't worry, you don't need to make it yourself. You can simply get one from the Dorgish Khan Average or Rich Thieving chests, or if you prefer, you can even kill wall beasts in the Lumbridge Swamp Caves and they drop them a 1 in 25 chance, and then you just need to add a Sapphire to them. I'm surprised they didn't announce this one publicly, but with the Defender of Varrock now automatically completed, we're going to be able to get ourselves a Zombie Axe, which is massive in the starter region because it doesn't have very good weapons. And there's a few places you can kill these relatively safely as soon as you get to a high enough level to be able to just tank a few hits from them. So this is the first one that you can do. You can simply come down the ladder here. They'll usually attack you one at a time, but occasionally the ranger will spot you and start attacking you. And if that happens, all you do is you go up the ladder, wait a few seconds and then come back down. And normally the ranger's walked away and you can carry on killing the ones next to you. After that, as long as you can survive running past the first mob, at the very first corner you can aggro one melee at a time here and kill it 1v1 just like this. The rangers are too far away so they never engage you in this spot. The problem is it's highly likely that this area will be packed some point on day one, so if you can't get this spot you can also go through the next gate and behind the rocks just on the other side. In this spot you can aggro one at a time in melee distance, although every time you go to aggro another one, the ranger will get 1 or 2 attacks on you. There's also another halfway up this corridor. As long as you have Protect from melee on, you're going to be fine here, but you're going to have a lot of melee ones on you at the same time. However, you can use the rock here to safe spot the ranger, so you're only getting attacked by one combat style, and then it's pretty easy. Finally, the next one's pretty simple. You go through the final gate and there's 3 melee ones here that form a line and they just attack you one at a time. Nothing special with this one, very easy to do. Next, with combat masteries, we got a few tasks that half of the leagues is going to try and do straight away at the start of leagues, and trying to kill a giant or 10 level 100 plus creatures could end up being very frustrating, especially if everyone's trying to do the same thing. So here's all the different places that you can do both tasks, and I'd honestly just get your points as usual, and as always I'll be doing a guide on starting points, and then anytime you just pass in one of these areas, check to see if there's something free to kill, rather than getting frustrated at the start of leagues trying to battle other people for a giant, when you're usually having the most fun in this game mode. So there are some Moss Giants on the Moss Giant Island in the northwest corner of Brimhaven, and don't forget we have a teleport straight over here in Leagues. You just open up your Leagues menu, you select Karamja or Brimhaven, and you teleport quite close by. I don't think this spot's going to be too busy, because whilst you don't need a rope, you do need 10 agility. Once you're on the island, you can use a bush like this to safe spot them, or any gap in the trees, because they're a large creature so they'll get stuck, and then you can easily kill them with mage or magic. There's also tons of Tazar that are over level 100 and pretty weak to magic with just 40 magic and no magic defense, so you should be able to kill these pretty easily at the start of leagues for the second task. All you do is you use one of these little mounds and attack one on the other side of it to safe spot it, and there's tons in this area so it's unlikely that all of them will be taken. Since Dragon Slayer is automatically completed, you can go through the wall and onto the other side, just watch out for the lesser demons, and then up the ladder at the end to get into Crandor, and there are some Moss Giants on the south side of this island that can easily be safe spotted. This one's a little bit out of the way though, so only really worth it if the other places are absolutely manic. Through the Isle of Souls portal, there's also some more Moss Giants just to the south that you can also safe spot using the trees. And then on the east side of the Isle of Souls is a cave which has Fire Giants. Now they're much higher level of 84 I think it is, but they have no magic defense at all and they drop the Ruined Scimitar, plus there's some blue dragons further along that you can kill for the second task by safe spotting them in here. Although if you go down this route you want to bring magic as they're much weaker to that, plus grab yourself an anti-dragon shield in Lumbridge from Duke Horatio if you plan to come over here. There's also some Hill Giants and Moss Giants in Varrock Sewers and Edgeville Dungeon respectively, but I fully expect those to be extremely busy. Lastly, because Defender of Varrock is automatically completed, if we complete the Shield of Arav, we get 2 lamps from Historian Minas upstairs in the Varrock Museum. Now it's a little bit complicated how that works, and it's essentially to do with the pre-quest not being completed for the Defender of Varrock, but Mod Husky has confirmed it, so if you complete the Shield of Arav quest this leagues, and go and get those 2 lamps, along with 10 Dragon Bones if you decide to kill blue dragons, and as long as you've reached the 8 times multiplier at this point, which you normally reach pretty early, you'll be able to use both lamps in prayer and will get you all of the protection prayers, which is going to be pretty massive because we don't have a good way to train prayer at the start. And that's also going to mean you can kill Scurius for the next combat mastery point. Don't forget you can also rush the Vampire Slayer quest, which will get you from level 1 all the way up to level 40 attack very quickly. The quest itself only takes about 5 minutes time. You don't have to use many to kill the boss, you can use magic. Level 20 magic will probably be enough to do that. So if you do decide to go down this route, you should be able to rush tier 2 in about half an hour at most. But you may want to go for tier 3 if it has a higher drop chance for the zombie axe, which will probably take you another hour. You can then get 40 attack quite easily. You can then buy an adamant sword and a varric sword shop to train with, or if you prefer, you can go to fire giants and get yourself a ruined scimitar. And then all you need to do is spend half an hour training up on other things, and then you can go and farm your zombie axe, and the XP you're going to get from that will easily get you enough levels to be able to kill Scorius. So if you want to go down the combat route, I'd say this is probably the best way, although there is one massive downside, and you're going to have to get yourself 70 smithing, and the starter area is not very good for that. So that strategy would work really well with the mining sigil, or if you're picking another region like the desert for the Giant's Foundry, or maybe the blast furnace if it's open this year, but it wasn't last year and I haven't read anything this year, so if anyone knows, please let us know in the comments.